we started Kidas because we realized that there is a big problem of scams actually within games. So we started Kidas to protect kids in gaming, in voice conversations, in text conversations for scams inside game, in games like Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, and got to a point in which we protected a lot of kids and started getting a lot of requests from companies outside of gaming to use the same technology to protect their customers in voice conversations, in SMS, and so we expanded there as well. And so now we offer full suites of product to protect customers from the most sophisticated social engineering scams in voice conversations and in text conversations. And the goal is to combine all of the information that we can gather in order to protect people from scams that are not visible when you first come across them. But if your technology has seen enough of them, it can recognize and detect those scams pretty efficiently.
Got it. So tell me a little bit for people who don't understand or haven't maybe heard of this particular type of scam. Explain to me a little bit about what these AI voice scams are and kind of how they work.
So AI voice scams are scams that are typical to voice conversations. Um, those are the same scams that people used to get calls from UPS that their package is, stuck somewhere and they need to pay something, or maybe from the IRS that they owe money to the IRS. So those are the same scams. They're just used by, you can say, an army of AI bots. So people, the operators of those scams, instead of calling manually to people, they have AI bots that are calling people. And they also use voice changers and even accent changers in order to make sure that they're using the right voice, the right accent at the right time, and to make sure that they can fraud people and scam people. That's the tool. So it's basically the same type of scams that scammers were used to use before, just way more sophisticated and way more personalized.
Could you just explain a little bit about how people's voices can be subjected to this? Like, is it a phone call that you have to answer to be recorded? Are people pulling videos down from social media? Like, where are people gaining access to be able to clone other people's voices or learn who they are in order to, pull off such an intricate scam as to call you and say such and such is in trouble, they need your help? How does this happen?
I don't want to scare anyone, but it's relatively easy if you're tech savvy. So you only need a few seconds of a video phone call in order to create a deep fake of your voice. In a lot of the cases, 15, 16 seconds of a video, high quality video is enough. Something that many of us have on social media or maybe share in groups on Slack, on WhatsApp, in iMessage with friends. And it's enough that one of their devices is being hacked and you got a few videos of you and someone can create a deepfake. Then building your social network, your real life social network is pretty easy. You go to social networks, you see that in schools, you see that in a lot of places that who's the father, who's the son, and by using that, they can use AI tools to clone your voice, and they typically use urgency. That's one of the most important things. Um, Urgency. They don't want you to have enough time to think, check it, to understand what is going on. So it has to be urgent. Hey, I need it now. I'm in jail or I'm in trouble. I need to get home. And then using the urgency, the voice cloning in order to scam people. One of the nice ways for people to deal with it, which is not technological at all, but it's working very well, is to have a family password. So a combination of words that only you guys in the family know about. And when you get an urgent call from your father or your mother or from your son or daughter, um, even if it's from their number, because spoofing of phone calls is possible these days, even if it's their voice, because cloning their voice is possible with AI, you basically ask them, hey, what's the family password? And if they know the family password, then you can validate it more, but it basically means that they probably are the person that they're claiming to be. If they don't know the family password, you can be sure that you're talking with a scammer.
Absolutely. Get a family passcode. This is very intriguing to me, but it's also very frightening because at any moment, it seems like somebody could fall victim to one of these scams. I know part of what your company does is related to gaming and making gaming safer for young people. So tell me a little bit about how that works so that parents, I know that Roblox is a really big talker right now with the things that are happening with like moving kids from one app to another. I know that that's another thing that scammers do. They like to have you, they meet you in Facebook, but then they want you to download WhatsApp. So just tell us a little bit about how Kidas works in terms of gaming with young people and how parents can find your product and get it to make sure that their kids are safe while they're online, presumably having a good time gaming.
Yeah. So kids are one of the most common targets for scams. 35, that's an astonishing number, but 35% of the kids are being scammed. And that's crazy because they're a vulnerable group, kids and seniors specifically, but it happens to, to other adults as well. Um, in our case, we saw a high risk in gaming that involve voice conversations. So most of the games these days, including Fortnite, Roblox, Call of Duty, have voice conversations. Those who don't have voice conversation offer an integration to Discord, which is a gaming communication platform that allows you to talk while you're playing. Um, and then scammers are using those platforms in order to scam kids. And they start by building trust with those kids. And they play with them for a few hours, sometimes a few days. And they use voice changers to sound like their age, or maybe a bit older or a bit younger, but kids, not older people. And they build their trust, and then they scam them for information that those kids can be getting, be their parents' credit card number by telling them, "Hey, I just got a new great deal for Robux, which is the Roblox currency, and we can get it for 30% discount. Like, hey, it's only if we do it in the next 2 hours. Can you get your parents' credit card number?" And then they scam them for their parents' credit card number, and they scam them for their account credentials, and username, password. Those things are very valuable because they, in their account, they have their virtual assets and real money, basically gift cards that they got from their parents in order to purchase items in the games, and those items could be later on sold. And so those are some of the ways that kids are scammed. And sextortion is another big thing, unfortunately. Uh, Kids are convinced to send nude photos, and then later on um, are sextorted to either send more photos that are later on sold, or send money in order for the scammers not to post those photos online or share it to their family members. So that's another big thing. In our case, our software is a software that runs on the device, on the PC, and we connect to more than 2,000 games, connect to the voice chat, connect to the tech chat, analyze the game events, and alert parents if something is happening, something like scams, harassment, sexual harassment, bullying, or anything that they should be aware of. And they get an email, a text message, and they also have a dashboard that they can use.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Ron Kerbs, for joining me today. Parents, families, businesses, do what you can to protect yourself from these nefarious scammers who are literally every day thinking of ways to get your money to the tune of about $12.5 billion that Americans lost last year to scams. And that's what's reported, right? That's not the people who are too ashamed to call police, too ashamed to report that they've been scammed out of their money or feel like it's such a small amount they don't want to report it. But $12.5 billion is a lot of money, and 96% of Americans receive weekly scam messages. I'm definitely in that number. I've been hit up about tolls that I've never been to, and tickets that I don't have. And so just be vigilant, be safe. Look into a tool like Kidas if you are looking to protect your home, your business, your children from these scammers. Ron Kerbs, thanks again for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank